Alex's apartment was quiet, too quiet. After a long day at the research lab, he had expected to find his home full of ordinary humdrum sounds. The hum of the fridge, the faint buzz of streetlights outside, the soft whir of the air purifier. Instead, everything was still, as if the apartment itself was holding its breath. He shrugged and set his backpack down. Kicking off his shoes, the sun had already dipped below the horizon, and the last rays of gold streaked across the city's skyline. In the future, cities had grown taller, smarter, and colder. Buildings reflected light like mirrors, and drones zipped through the sky like swarms of metallic insects. But despite the high-tech surroundings, Alex's neighborhood had retained a strange, old-world charm. Small apartment buildings, green patches of parks, and neighbors who waved at each other when they crossed paths. He was just about to pour himself a cup of tea when a soft, almost hesitant knock echoed through the apartment. Alex frowned. He wasn't expecting anyone. He rarely had visitors. Curious, he approached the door. When he opened it, he froze. Standing there was Lyra, his neighbor from 2 floors up. She had dark, silky hair that glimmered even under the dim hallway light, and eyes that seemed to shimmer in a way he couldn't describe. Something about her presence felt unusual, almost ethereal. She was quiet, her expression unreadable, yet there was an intensity in her gaze that made Alex's heart beat faster. She leaned forward slightly and whispered, her voice barely audible over the faint hum of the city. "Do you think I'm beautiful?" Alex blinked, caught off guard. The words hung in the air like a fragile glass ornament, delicate and yet heavy with meaning. His first instinct was to laugh nervously, to brush it off as some odd joke. But when he looked into her eyes, he realized she wasn't joking. Not really. There was a strange seriousness in her tone that demanded honesty. I like you," he said instead, his voice steady, though his mind raced. "I mean, I like you." Lyra's lips curved into a subtle smile, barely noticeable, yet enough to make Alex feel as if the world had shifted slightly. She didn't say anything more. She simply stood there for a moment, the silence stretching between them, before turning and walking down the hallway. Alex shut the door, leaned against it, and let out a long breath. Something about that encounter felt like the start of something he couldn't yet understand. But he also felt a strange thrill, a spark of curiosity he hadn't felt in years. The next morning, he couldn't stop thinking about her. At breakfast, he stared out the window at the city below, replaying the moment in his mind. Something about Lyra was different. There was something not quite human about her. He shook his head. It was probably his imagination. Maybe it was the way the light had hit her eyes, or the quiet way she carried herself. Humans could be strange, after all, but then, odd things started to happen. That evening, Alex noticed that Lyra's apartment lights were on, even though she never seemed to come or go at normal hours. At first, he thought it was normal, maybe she had a late shift or worked night hours. But then he saw her on the balcony, standing completely still, staring at the city as if she were observing it for the first time. She didn't move for what felt like hours, and when she finally shifted, it was with a grace and precision that seemed almost mechanical. Alex's curiosity grew. He found himself watching for her during the day, trying to catch glimpses of what she was doing. At first, it was innocent, just wondering why someone so quiet and reserved would appear so suddenly at his door. But then he noticed small, almost imperceptible things. She never seemed to eat when he saw her. She rarely interacted with neighbors, and once, he saw her pick up a drone from the street and manipulate it with gestures that no human should have been able to perform so effortlessly. He told himself to stop thinking about it. People were mysterious. Humans were strange. Maybe she had some unusual skill or hobby. But the feeling of unease remained. There was something about Lyra that didn't fit. A few days later, Alex returned from work to find her standing in the hallway again. She was holding a small, metallic device that glowed faintly. When she saw him, she tilted her head slightly, studying him. "Do you want to see something?" she asked, her voice calm but curious. Alex hesitated. He wasn't sure if he should say yes, but his curiosity got the better of him. "Sure," he said. Lyra stepped aside, motioning for him to follow her into the apartment building's small community garden. It was quiet there, lit only by the soft glow of artificial lamps and the reflection of the city above. She held out the device, and suddenly, images appeared in mid-air, holographic projections of distant planets, stars, and galaxies. Alex's jaw dropped. How are you doing this?" he asked, mesmerized. Lyra didn't answer immediately. She simply watched his reaction, her expression calm but intense. Then she spoke. "I come from far away," she said softly. "Farther than you can imagine." Alex felt a shiver run down his spine. He wanted to laugh, to dismiss it as some kind of prank or game. But the sincerity in her voice, combined with the strange shimmer in her eyes, made it impossible. "You're an alien?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "I am an observer," Lyra said. "I am here to understand humans, to see what makes you beautiful." Alex took a step back, uncertain if he should believe her. Yet something about her presence felt so real, so honest, that disbelief seemed almost absurd. He looked at the device again, watching the projections of stars and planets, realizing that the universe was far bigger, stranger, and more mysterious than he had ever imagined. For a moment, silence settled between them. Alex felt a strange mixture of fear and fascination. This was not a normal encounter. This was the start of something far beyond the walls of his apartment, beyond the routines of his quiet life. Something that could change everything he thought he knew about the world, about humanity. I don't know what to say," he admitted finally. "You don't need to say anything yet," Lyra replied. "Just observe, learn, feel." As Alex watched her disappear back into her apartment, the door closing silently behind her, he realized that the world he had known was changing. The quiet suburb, the mirrored city skyline, the mundane hum of technology, all of it suddenly felt small compared to the vast possibilities Lyra had shown him. That night, Alex lay awake, staring at the ceiling. He couldn't stop thinking about her question from that first encounter. "Do you think I'm beautiful?" He realized that beauty was not just about appearances. Maybe it was about curiosity, courage, and the willingness to step into the unknown. Maybe it was about the spark of wonder that Lyra had ignited in him. For the first time in years, Alex felt truly alive. He didn't know what the future held, but he knew one thing. His life was about to change forever. And somehow, he knew that Lyra would be at the center of it all. The morning sun spilled over the city, painting the mirrored skyscrapers with streaks of gold and orange. Alex sat at his small kitchen table, staring at the mug of coffee in his hands. Sleep had been hard to come by last night. His mind was full of questions, thoughts about Lyra, and the strange device she had shown him. He had replayed every moment of their brief encounter over and over. The way she had whispered at his door, the strange shimmer in her eyes, the holographic projections of distant planets, everything felt unreal. And yet, it had all been real. He could feel it in his chest, a mix of excitement and unease. Alex shook his head, trying to focus on the mundane emails, lab reports, and the endless hum of the city. But it was impossible. Lyra had sparked something inside him that could not be ignored. By the time he left for work, he had made a decision. He needed to understand her. When he returned in the evening, he noticed it immediately. Her apartment lights were on again, not a flicker, not the soft glow of normal evening activity, but a constant, calm illumination that seemed to pulse gently. He paused in the hallway, wondering if he should knock or simply leave. Before he could decide, Lyra appeared in the doorway. Her expression was calm, almost neutral, but the intensity in her eyes made him hesitate. "You are watching me again," she said softly. Alex opened his mouth to deny it, but the truth came out anyway. I'm curious. I don't understand what you're doing, or who you are." Lyra studied him for a long moment, as if weighing something invisible. Then she nodded slightly. I will show you. But you must promise to watch carefully and not interfere. Curiosity is acceptable, but interference can be dangerous. Alex swallowed hard. I promise. She stepped aside and motioned for him to follow. They walked down the quiet hallway and into the small community garden again. The city noise seemed distant here, muted by the tall apartment walls and the soft hum of artificial lights. Lyra held out the small metallic device. It glowed faintly in her hand, projecting holographic images of the stars and planets. But this time, it was different. The images moved, flowed like a river of light, showing not only distant worlds but strange ships, cities in the sky, and beings he could not comprehend. What is all this? Alex asked, his voice barely above a whisper. I observe, Lyra said simply. I learn. I record. Humans are fascinating, but there are things about you I do not yet understand. Alex's heart raced. Things? Like what? Emotions. Decisions. Courage. Fear. Creativity. Curiosity. Humans are unpredictable. And that unpredictability is what makes you beautiful. Alex felt a strange mix of pride and confusion. He had never thought of humans that way, as beautiful, not because of appearances, but because of behavior, emotion, and thought. Over the next few days, Alex started noticing other strange hints about Lyra. She never seemed to sleep, at least not in a way he could observe. Sometimes, he would see her standing on the balcony at 3 a.m., watching the city with perfect stillness. Her eyes always seemed to follow movement with a precision that made him uncomfortable. Once, he saw her extend her hand toward a drone that had flown too close to the building. It hovered perfectly in her palm, responding to gestures as if she had some unseen control over it. One evening, Alex confronted her. You're not human, are you? He asked, trying to sound casual. Though his chest thumped with anxiety, Lyra looked at him. Her expression was calm, almost serene. I am like humans in many ways, she said softly. But I am also different. I am here to understand, to observe, to learn. What do you want to learn? Alex asked, stepping closer, curiosity mixing with a strange fear. Humans have something rare, she said. Something no other civilization I have observed has. You have emotion, creativity, and unpredictability. I want to know why. Why you are the way you are. Why you are beautiful. Alex swallowed hard. And if I help you, if I show you all of this, what then? Lyra's eyes shimmered in the fading light. Then I will know. And maybe I will decide if humans are ready for what lies beyond your world. Alex blinked. The words made little sense at first. Ready for what? Beyond the world? He had a million questions, but they all crowded together, leaving him with only a deep sense of awe. Over the next week, Alex found himself watching her more closely. He noticed small details that made him feel both amazed and uneasy. Her movements were always precise, her reactions almost too quick for a normal human. She never ate in front of anyone, never spoke unless necessary. And yet, she observed everything with a depth and patience that made him feel exposed. Yet, despite these oddities, Alex began to see something profoundly human in her. She was curious about the world, just as he was. She asked questions, quiet, almost invisible questions about the city, about people, about his thoughts and feelings. There was a softness in her interest, a patience that felt almost like friendship. One night, Alex was returning home from the lab when he saw her standing on the rooftop of the building next door. She seemed to float in the dim light, her silhouette almost blending with the stars above. He climbed to the roof to join her, feeling a strange mix of excitement and fear. You come often, she said without turning. I wanted to see what you're doing, he admitted. I want to understand. Lyra nodded. Humans are complex. You do not understand yourself fully, yet you are capable of great courage, love, and creativity. These things are rare in the universe. Alex hesitated. Do you mean other beings in space? Yes, she said softly. Many civilizations exist beyond your world. Some are advanced, but they lack what makes humans unique. They lack emotion. They lack curiosity. They lack beauty. Alex felt a mixture of pride and disbelief. So, you're saying humans are special? Lyra turned to face him, her eyes glimmering with something he could not name. Yes. But humans are also fragile. You are capable of great wonder, but also of destruction. I need to see which path you will take. That is why I am here. Alex's mind raced. He wanted to ask more, to understand everything, but words failed him. He realized that she had opened a door to a universe far larger than anything he had imagined. A universe full of possibilities, mysteries, and dangers. For the next several nights, Alex and Lyra spent hours observing the city and discussing human behavior. He showed her small acts of kindness, like helping an elderly neighbor carry groceries or sharing food with stray animals. She watched silently, recording everything with that strange, shimmering device of hers. One evening, as they sat on the rooftop, Alex noticed a faint glow in the sky, a light that moved too smoothly, too purposefully to be a plane. Lyra's eyes widened slightly. They are watching, she said softly. Who? Alex asked, fear creeping into his voice. Others, she replied. Observers from far beyond your world. They judge civilizations. They decide which species may advance and which may not. Alex swallowed hard. The weight of her words sank deep. The quiet city below, the mundane streets, the simple lives of his neighbors. They all suddenly seemed small in comparison to the vast, watching universe. Lyra turned to him. Humans are beautiful, Alex. But beauty alone may not be enough. You must show courage, ingenuity, and compassion. These are the tests that await your world. Alex felt both terrified and inspired. For the first time, he realized that his life, his world, and even his small, quiet existence might have meaning far beyond what he had imagined. That night, as he lay in bed staring at the ceiling, he thought about Lyra's words. He thought about her question from that first encounter. About beauty, and what it truly meant, and he realized something. Perhaps humanity's greatest strength was not in its technology, its cities, or even its science, but in its spirit, in the courage to face the unknown, the curiosity to learn, and the capacity to care. And somewhere out there, beyond the stars, beings were watching, waiting, judging. Alex didn't know what the future held, but he knew one thing. His life had changed forever, and he would follow Lyra wherever this strange, cosmic journey might take him. The next morning, the city seemed quieter than usual. Alex walked through the streets with a sense of anticipation. Though he didn't fully understand why, Lyra's words from the rooftop echoed in his mind. Humans are beautiful, Alex, but beauty alone may not be enough. He had spent days observing her, learning from her silent curiosity. And yet a bigger question kept growing inside him. Who is she really? That evening, as the sun dipped behind the skyscrapers, Alex returned to his apartment to find Lyra waiting at his door. She held a small device in her hand, the same metallic, glowing object she had shown him before. But this time, it felt different. There was a seriousness in her expression that made Alex's heart beat faster. I think it is time you knew the truth, she said softly. Alex stepped aside to let her in, his mind racing. The truth about... What? Lyra's eyes shimmered in the dim light of his apartment. About who I am, and why I am here. Alex felt a mixture of excitement and fear. Go on, he said, trying to sound calm. She took a deep breath, then spoke, her voice steady and deliberate. I am not human. I am a humanoid emissary from an interstellar alliance. My mission is to observe your species and understand your nature, your emotions, your decisions, and the things that make you beautiful. Alex stared at her, stunned. He wanted to laugh, to dismiss it as impossible. But the sincerity in her eyes made him pause. His mind flashed back to the holographic projections, her impossible movements, and the way she seemed to know things no human could know. You're from another planet?" he asked, barely believing the words. "In a sense," Lyra replied. "I come from a civilization far beyond your world. We have observed many species, many civilizations. Most are advanced, but few possess what humans possess: emotion, creativity, curiosity, compassion. These traits are rare in the universe. They are what make humans remarkable." Alex swallowed hard. "So, you're here to study us?" "Yes," she said, "but it is more than study. It is assessment. There are others watching beings who decide which species may advance into the greater universe. They judge civilizations based on their actions, their choices, their spirit. Your species is being evaluated." Alex's mind raced. The quiet city streets, the small parks, the mundane lives of his neighbors, all suddenly seemed insignificant, yet somehow, they were part of something far larger, something that could decide humanity's fate. "Why me?" he asked, a mix of fear and curiosity in his voice. "Because you are human," she said simply. "But more than that, you are curious. You question. You observe. You care. These qualities are what I need to see. To understand humanity, I must learn from individuals like you." Alex felt both honored and overwhelmed. He had never imagined that his quiet, ordinary life could be part of something so vast. The idea that beings beyond the stars were watching, waiting, judging, was almost too much to comprehend. Lyra held out her device, and holographic images filled the room. Stars, planets, and distant civilizations swirled around them. Ships moved with precision beyond anything humans had built. Cities floated in space, glowing with light and energy. And then Alex saw something that made him pause. Beings like her. Humanoid but clearly not human, observing other species. Some civilizations were thriving, others were failing, and some had already been judged unworthy. "This," Alex whispered, unable to look away. "This is incredible. But also—" "Yes," Lyra said softly. "The universe is vast, full of possibilities and dangers. But humans have something rare: the ability to choose, to act with courage, with kindness, with creativity. These qualities are what I must understand. And you, Alex, are helping me see them." Over the next several days, Alex and Lyra spent hours together. She asked questions about human behavior, emotions, and decisions. He showed her small acts of kindness: helping a neighbor carry groceries, comforting a frightened child, sharing food with stray animals. She watched everything, recording it with her device, her expression unreadable but attentive. One evening, as they sat in the small community garden, Alex noticed a faint tension in her demeanor. "What is it?" he asked. "They are near," she said softly, her eyes scanning the sky. "The observers. They are watching closely now. Your actions, your choices, your decisions. They matter more than ever." Alex felt a shiver run down his spine. "What happens if they decide we're not ready?" Well, crosses. Well, Lyra's gaze softened. "Then, humanity may face restrictions. You may not be allowed to explore, to learn, to join the greater universe. But I believe in humans. I have seen your potential. I have seen your courage." Her words filled Alex with a strange mixture of fear and pride. The weight of responsibility pressed down on him. Every action, every choice, every moment of kindness mattered not just to him or his neighbors, but to the future of his entire species. The next day, Alex noticed something even stranger. Lyra seemed to understand technology in ways no human could. She repaired a broken drone by touching it, causing it to respond instantly to her gestures. She manipulated holographic projections with simple hand movements, creating detailed simulations of cities and planets. Alex realized that her abilities were far beyond human limits. Yet she never flaunted them. She used them only to observe, to understand, to learn. "I don't understand," he said one evening as they sat on the rooftop, watching the city below. "If you are so advanced, why do you need to observe humans at all? Why not just do what you want?" Lyra smiled faintly. "Power is meaningless without understanding. Many civilizations are advanced technologically, but fail morally and emotionally. Humans may be simple, but your choices, your courage, and your compassion are what matter most. That is why I am here. To see if humanity is truly beautiful." Alex thought about her words. Beauty. It was not about appearances, not about perfection. It was about courage, kindness, curiosity, and the ability to face the unknown. And somehow, in her presence, he felt more human than ever. Days turned into weeks. Alex and Lyra explored more of the city together, observing human behavior in its natural state. They watched parents play with their children, strangers help each other without expectation, artists create beauty from simple materials. Lyra's device recorded it all, glowing faintly as if capturing the essence of humanity itself. One evening, Alex asked the question that had been on his mind since their first encounter. "Do you think I'm beautiful?" "Well," Lyra looked at him, her expression softening. "You are human," she said, "and you have shown curiosity, courage, and compassion. These are the qualities that make you beautiful, Alex. Not in appearance, but in spirit." Alex felt a warmth in his chest, a deep connection to her words. For the first time, he truly understood what she had meant that night. She appeared at his door. Beauty was not skin deep. Beauty was in action, in choice, in the courage to face the unknown and do what was right. But just as he felt a sense of peace, a shadow passed over the city. A distant hum, low and vibrating, filled the air. Lyra's eyes widened slightly. "They are coming," she said quietly. Alex's heart pounded. "Who?" "The observers," she replied. "They have been patient. But now, they are close. Humanity will soon be judged." Are we or Arkle? Fear and determination surged through him. He had spent weeks learning, observing, and understanding. And now, everything would be tested. Lyra reached out and touched his shoulder. "You are ready, Alex. You understand what it means to be human. Now, we must see if the universe agrees." For the first time, Alex realized that his ordinary life had become extraordinary. He was part of something larger than himself, larger than Earth, larger than humanity. And somehow, he knew that whatever happened next, he would face it with courage, because that was what it truly meant to be human. As the night deepened, the city lights twinkling like stars below, Alex and Lyra stood together, ready to face the unknown. The universe was vast, mysterious, and watching. But Alex had a spark inside him, the spark of curiosity, courage, and compassion. And somehow, he knew that would make all the difference. The city slept under a sky that seemed too vast to comprehend. Alex stood at the edge of his rooftop, staring at the stars above. He could feel the weight of Lyra's words pressing on him. Humanity will soon be judged. He did not fully understand how or why, but he knew one thing: the universe was watching, and it would not judge humans lightly. Lyra joined him silently, her eyes scanning the sky. "They are near," she said softly. Her voice held no fear, only calm. "The observers have arrived. It is time to see if humanity is ready." Alex felt a shiver run through him. "Ready for what?" "To be seen," Lyra replied. "To show that humans are capable of courage, creativity, and compassion. To prove that your species is beautiful in spirit." Before Alex could ask more, the sky above the city lit up with a strange glow. The light was unlike anything he had ever seen. It shimmered with colors that did not exist in the normal spectrum. Shapes moved swiftly across the sky, too fast, too precise for any aircraft he knew. The observers had arrived. Lyra handed Alex her small device. "You may need this," she said. "It can help you think, help you act. But the choices are yours." Alex took it, feeling its strange warmth in his hand. He had never felt anything like it before. The device pulsed gently, as if it were alive, responding to his curiosity and fear. Suddenly, alarms echoed across the city. A malfunction at the central power grid caused lights to flicker and systems to shut down. Trains stopped moving, drones dropped from the sky, and traffic lights went dark. People ran in confusion, trapped by the sudden failure of their technology. "It is a test," Lyra said calmly. "The observers want to see how humans respond, how you solve problems, how you act under pressure." Alex's mind raced. He ran down the rooftop stairs, toward the city streets. People were panicking, unsure what to do. Fires had started in a few places, due to malfunctioning equipment. Emergency crews were overwhelmed. He remembered the device in his hand. He didn't fully understand how it worked, but instinct told him it could help. He activated it, and a soft holographic map appeared before him. The streets were highlighted, showing areas where people were trapped or in danger. "This is incredible," Alex muttered. He moved quickly, guiding people to safety, helping firefighters find the worst affected areas, and using the device to temporarily stabilize some failing drones that were blocking emergency routes. He felt a surge of determination. This was more than just helping others, this was humanity's chance to prove its worth. Meanwhile, Lyra moved silently among the chaos. She helped where she could, but never interfered too much. Her presence was calm, guiding Alex subtly without taking over. She watched him closely, her expression unreadable but attentive. Hours passed like minutes. Alex ran from one crisis to another, saving people trapped in elevators, redirecting traffic manually when lights failed, calming panicked crowds. Each decision mattered. Hesitate, and someone could be hurt. Act boldly, and lives could be saved. At one point, Alex saw a group of children stranded on a collapsing playground structure. The metal frame groaned under its own weight, and the ground beneath them had begun to crack. He sprinted toward them, using the device to stabilize the structure long enough for the children to escape safely. One of the children looked up at him, eyes wide with fear and awe. "Thank you," she shouted. "You saved us." Alex smiled, breathless. "Stay calm. You're safe now," he said. All around him, the city was a mix of chaos and courage. Strangers helped each other, sharing water, calming frightened people, and moving injured individuals to safety. Alex realized that this quick thinking, bravery, and cooperation was exactly what Lyra had been talking about. Humans were beautiful not because of technology or power, but because of their choices, their courage, and their care for each other. Suddenly, the observers themselves appeared above the city. Massive, glowing forms hovered silently in the sky, their shapes shifting like liquid metal. People on the streets screamed, unsure what to do, but Alex felt a strange calm. He remembered Lyra's words. "They are watching closely. Your actions, your choices, your decisions, they matter." He stepped forward, guiding people away from danger. The observer's eyes, if they could be called that, seemed to follow him. And he realized something profound. This was not just about saving lives. This was about showing what it truly meant to be human. As the night wore on, the city slowly stabilized. Fires were put out, power systems restored, and people helped each other to safety. Alex moved tirelessly, his body aching, his mind exhausted, but his spirit alive with determination. Finally, the chaos subsided. The city was quiet again, illuminated by the soft glow of emergency lights. Alex stood on a street corner, breathing heavily, watching as neighbors helped each other clean up and comfort those who had been scared or hurt. Lyra appeared beside him, her expression calm and almost approving. "You have done well," she said softly. "You have shown courage, ingenuity, and compassion. The observers have seen your actions. Humanity has been noted." Alex felt a mixture of relief and awe. "Noted?" he asked. "They have recorded everything," Lyra explained. "Your choices, your courage, your kindness. These are the qualities they value most. And through your actions, they have seen that humans are capable of greatness." Alex looked around at the city. People were smiling, helping each other, and slowly returning to normal. He realized that this was more than just a test. It was a revelation. Humanity's greatest strength was not in machines, technology, or even knowledge. It was in spirit, in choice, in the courage to act when it mattered most. Lyra turned to him, her eyes shimmering. "This was only the first test," she said. "There will be more challenges, more situations that will demand the best of your species. But tonight you have shown that humans can rise to the occasion. That is what makes you beautiful." Alex felt a warmth in his chest. For the first time, he understood the weight of Lyra's words. Beauty was not about appearances. It was about action, decision, and courage. And tonight, humanity had proven itself worthy, even in the face of chaos and fear. As the first rays of dawn touched the city, Alex and Lyra stood on the rooftop, watching the world awaken again. The city was quiet, calm, and alive with human spirit. And somewhere in the sky above, the observers had seen it too. Alex realized that life would never be the same again. The universe was vast, mysterious, and watching. But humanity had shown that it could rise to challenges, that it could act with courage, and that it could face the unknown with heart and determination. And somehow, Alex knew that this was only the beginning. The city was quiet now. But Alex could still feel the echoes of the chaos from the night before. Sirens had faded. Fires were extinguished. And the streets were slowly returning to normal. Yet something in the air had changed. The glow in the sky that marked the presence of the observers was gone. But Alex knew they were still watching, judging, waiting. Lyra stood beside him on the rooftop, silent and calm. Her eyes glimmered faintly, reflecting the first light of dawn. "Tonight was only the beginning," she said softly. "The observers have recorded your actions. They have seen humanity's courage, creativity, and compassion. But there is one final step, one final test." Alex's heart pounded. "A final test? What do we have to do?" "Not what," Lyra replied. "Who? Humanity will face its judgment through the actions of individuals who choose to rise when the moment demands it. You, Alex, have already shown much, but the universe will watch every act of courage and wisdom from now onward. Your species must prove that these qualities are not rare accidents, but the true nature of humanity." Alex took a deep breath. "So, this is it? This is our chance to show the universe what we are?" "Yes," Lyra said, a faint smile touching her lips. "And I believe in humans. I have seen what you are capable of. You have the spark that many civilizations lack. The spark that makes you beautiful." As the morning sun broke over the city skyline, a strange vibration filled the air. Alex looked up and saw it first. A massive, shimmering vessel, hovering silently above the tallest skyscraper. Its surface reflected the sunlight like liquid glass, and its size made the tallest buildings below seem like toys. The observers had returned. People on the streets froze, staring up in awe and fear. But Alex felt something different. He felt determination. He had seen what humans were capable of. He had acted, he had chosen, and he had helped others survive. Now, it was time to let the universe see it too. Lyra handed him the glowing device. "This may help," she said. "It will amplify what you already carry inside: your courage, your ingenuity, your compassion. but it cannot replace your choices. That is what matters most. Alex nodded, gripping the device tightly. He didn't fully understand how it worked, but he knew he had to trust himself. The observer's vessel descended slowly, its enormous shape casting a shadow over the city. A voice, not loud but clear, filled Alex's mind. It was calm, almost mechanical, yet tinged with curiosity. Humanity, we are here to judge. Show us your nature. Show us what makes you worthy. Alex glanced at the people around him. Strangers helped each other organize, clear debris, and comfort those who were scared or injured. He realized that this was what the observers needed to see, not just his actions, but humanity's collective spirit. He focused on the device, letting its soft glow guide him. A nearby bridge had partially collapsed during the previous night's chaos, trapping vehicles and people on either side. Alex moved quickly, directing traffic, helping people climb to safety, and using the device to stabilize the remaining structure temporarily. He felt a surge of confidence. The device was not doing the work for him, it was amplifying his own choices, showing that humans could solve problems through courage and intelligence. Lyra followed closely, observing silently. She offered advice only when necessary, guiding Alex subtly without taking over. Her calm presence reminded him that while humans had potential, they also needed to act wisely. As he moved through the city, he noticed small acts of heroism everywhere. A group of neighbors helped carry an elderly man from a collapsed walkway. Children shared water with frightened pets. Strangers formed chains to help clear debris and prevent further accidents. Every act, no matter how small, added to the picture of humanity that the observers were recording. Alex realized something important. It was not the grand gestures alone that defined human worth. It was the small choices, the moments of empathy and courage, that built a civilization's soul. Every life saved, every act of kindness, every creative solution to a problem mattered. Suddenly, a cry for help reached him. A young woman was trapped on the top of a burning building, her escape route blocked by debris. Without hesitation, Alex ran toward her, feeling the heat of the flames and the panic of the crowd. He activated the device, and a holographic projection of the building appeared before him, highlighting weak points in the structure. Using both his wits and the guidance from the device, he created a safe path and led the woman to safety. "Thank you," she gasped, tears streaming down her face. "You saved me." Alex smiled, though his body was exhausted. "You're safe now. That's what matters." Around the city, other humans were doing the same, making choices, acting bravely, and showing compassion. Alex watched as the observer's massive vessel reflected these acts, capturing the essence of humanity in its shimmering surface. Then, as the last of the immediate crises was resolved, the sky changed. The vessel's surface shimmered, and a voice echoed in Alex's mind once more. "Humanity, your actions have been observed. Your courage, compassion, and creativity are. You have shown that your species is capable of greatness. You are beautiful." Alex felt a rush of relief and pride unlike anything he had ever experienced. He looked at Lyra, who was smiling now, her eyes full of warmth. "They have judged humanity worthy," she said softly. "But remember, Alex, this is only the beginning. The universe is vast, full of challenges and opportunities. Humanity has the spark that can guide you into the stars. But it must be nurtured. It must grow." Alex nodded, feeling the weight of her words. He realized that beauty was not just about surviving a single test. It was about acting with courage and kindness every day, in every choice, no matter how small. For the first time, he truly understood what Lyra had meant when she whispered at his door months ago. "Do you think I'm beautiful?" Beauty was not a single moment or a simple answer. It was the sum of actions, choices, and spirit, the essence of what made someone, or even an entire species, remarkable. Lyra stepped closer to the edge of the rooftop, looking at him with a mixture of pride and affection. "You have done well, Alex, and so has humanity. I will leave now. But remember what you have seen. and what you have learned. The universe is vast, and humans have earned their place in it. Alex felt a pang of sadness at her departure, but also hope. "Will I see you again?" he asked. "Perhaps," she replied, her figure beginning to shimmer in the morning light. "But even if you do not, remember this. Humans are capable of greatness because of what lies within each of you: courage, compassion, and curiosity. These will guide your species far beyond what you can imagine." And with that, she was gone, leaving behind a small, glowing artifact in Alex's hand. It was a simple, smooth object. Pulsing gently with warmth, he could feel its energy, a reminder of what humanity had proven and the journey that lay ahead. Alex looked out over the city as the sun rose higher, painting the buildings with golden light. The streets were alive with people helping one another, rebuilding, smiling, and moving forward. Humanity had faced the judgment of the universe, and it had passed. For the first time in his life, Alex felt a profound sense of connection, not just to Lyra, but to every human around him. He understood that the spark of greatness was within all of them, waiting to be nurtured and guided. The universe was vast and full of mystery. But humanity had proven that it could rise to challenges, act with courage and kindness, and face the unknown with hope. And somehow, Alex knew that this was only the beginning of a grand journey. One that would take humans to the stars, where their spirit, ingenuity, and beauty could shine for all to see. As he walked through the city, holding the artifact carefully in his hands, Alex smiled. Humanity had been tested, and humanity had passed. The world around him was ordinary, yet extraordinary at the same time. The quiet courage, the simple acts of kindness, the spark of curiosity, these were the things that truly mattered. And somewhere beyond the stars, observers were watching, knowing that humanity's journey was only beginning. Alex took a deep breath, feeling the warmth of the morning sun on his face. For the first time, he felt truly alive, fully human, and deeply proud of what they had accomplished together. Because humanity, with all its flaws, its courage, its heart, and its spirit, was beautiful.